Jon, just talk about maybe the youth on your side of the ball. I'm looking at Cooper, who played, obviously, last year. At Sadowski, for example.
Yep.
And how they're doing and what challenges there are that go along with playing such young players.
Well, I think they're doing well. I think they battle different things all the time. Randy, I think young players, play in the second game. Defense is different kind of offense. We'll play a different style this week. I think, all of those things take part in growth. And there's nothing to refer back to. Like, man, I played these guys or this style of offense 2 years ago at, Oklahoma. It really comes down to just experiences that they've had, and they haven't had a lot. And I give them a lot of credit. They've done a great job of learning, and the learning curve's going really fast. Once season starts, why it goes fast. But I think they've done a really good job to this point. I think their process has been good. And by that, I just mean the preparation. I think they've been consistent in how they've tried to prepare, even though, they're really going to face 3 different offenses in 3 different weeks.
What's allowed Jeremiah to have a breakout 2 games, Jeremiah Cooper?
I think first and foremost, he's a good player. He's very instinctive. He's a natural, has great ball awareness, great ball skills, came here with that to some extent. I think he's been a guy that's developed, got hurt a little bit last year, obviously, and had a great summer or a great spring and a great summer, and has put it all together, and I think going out and playing good football. But he's naturally an instinctive football player. Like, he gets it.
Obviously, the interceptions stand out, but he had an open field tackle that was really good. How all around is his game or his ability to?
I think that. I think he understands football. I think he does a great job of the awareness of playing back in space, what's going on around him, what the routes are, doesn't have to stare people down, can feel what's happening around him, and I think that's a sign of an excellent defensive back. I think they have great awareness. They can, see the quarterback, feel the receivers. They can do all the different things without having to just have blinders on. They can feel what's going on, and if that guy went, behind me, then there's somebody coming in front. If somebody went out, somebody's coming in, and I think, he has some natural ball instincts and football instincts that way.
Jon, looking back at Saturday's game, what did you like about what your group did, and what do you see that you or identified that, hey, we've got to get better at this?
Yeah, I really liked our competitive spirit. I thought our guys prepared really hard for that football game. I think they prepared really hard both games, and I think they've prepared, since the weekend. I think they're a competitive spirit group. I thought we played some really good plays. The long, the run game has me a little edgy. I think we've got some areas to improve there. And a couple of them were just some misfits. They did a good job and got good players and good schemes, and so I think part of that. But I thought overall our fight to the end was important for our young group. Could have easily sacked our bats. Because you never know what young teams are really going to do. You just don't until, they're in the fire. And I really felt like our guys, hung in there and fought to the end, gave us a chance there at the end. And that's all you're ever looking for in a game, is to have a chance. And I think our guys have done that. But there's some run things we got to get squared away. That's coaching and playing. And I think at times the physical part of the run game and we need to try to get some more takeaways. We've put so much emphasis on, tearing at the ball and those kinds. We had some, but not like we're going to need to do and that we've practiced to do. So there's plenty of room for improvement. But again, I liked our competitive spirit, our preparation, our want to, our dig in when it got really kind of tough. And I think TJ's play, shoot you. If you don't want that ball to get out, that's a disappointment. But man, you watch us come back and fight to hold it to a field goal. You appreciate that from our guys.
And Jacob Ellis as a rotational piece. Largely inexperienced, but very deep linebacker room.
Yeah.
What's it meant for him to be healthy and out?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, what a great job he did on the spur of the moment. We really didn't know he was going to play until it was time to play. He had prepped well, has done that. Gary had gotten some reps in practice and kind of felt like, might go, and at the last second didn't. And you know, I give Jacob a lot of credit, but he's the same guy every day since he's been here. You talk about competitive spirit, he has it. You know, he wants to be a really good player, his personal pride, and he's a mentally tough guy. So all those things add up to him playing well.
You guys have been fielding a new defensive line rotation this season. What have you seen from that group of players so far?
I think growth that you know, when you talk about all the positions, you know, I think, you know, T.O. has stood out to this point. I think Dom Orange in there has stood out to this point, have been dominant at times, and I think trying to bring along a younger group as we get rotation reps in there, I think that's really important to our growth as a defense and as a team. If we're going to get better, everybody else got to play better, and we need everybody else playing at a dominant level. We're not there yet, but we've got some guys that I feel like, man, at moments on that videotape, whew, impressive. And at times, you know, we look like a young group out there. So we've got to clean up missed assignments. We got to clean up our mental part of the game. Same thing. Things happened to him in that game the other day that, you know, man, it's not. We just didn't handle it, and we've got to be able to do that as we grow up and get a little bit older here, and that we need to do it really fast.
We talked to Hufford, and he said he was looking for something like 50 tickets going back to Ohio on Saturday.
Yeah.
What's the dynamic for the number of players that you have going back there, and obviously with all the connections you guys have as a staff and a place you guys like to recruit? Yeah,
I mean, it's, you know, it's where most of us are from. You know, obviously his family, my family's back there, coaches and Tyson's, and so it means a lot. The game is still the most important. All our family would tell you that. You know, we all know how important the game is. It's also a chance to see, you know, brothers and family and you know, all those kind of things. Those kids will get to see parents, and they don't have to travel and all of those kind of things. So it's really a cool opportunity. I think it's good for our recruiting area as well. We try to get back there and recruit a couple kids every year from the state of Ohio. We've been able to do that, and you know, I think being able to get back there and play certainly helps. But you know, it's kind of, you know, it's cool to go back home and play.
Coach, obviously you guys matched up with him last year, but what have you seen about Ohio quarterback Kurtis Roarke?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with their team. I always have been impressed with Ohio U. I just have always had respect for them way back when I first started coaching. They've had great coaches pass through there. They have great players pass through there. Tremendous amount of respect. They played in the MAC championship game after, you know, losing a quarterback. To think that team rallied in what they did, and then that whole group's basically back. So they're a veteran crew. They know how to handle all the different scenarios. They've handled adversity. When you lose your quarterback, you got to give credit to the backup that went in there and played and has played very well. And you got to give a lot of credit to that team and that coaching staff. That's what character really looks like in football. And you know, it'll be a tremendous challenge for us. It'll be probably as steep a challenge as we've played to this point on our side of the football, looking at the veterans they have on offense, what they do on offense schematically, and then I think the quarterback's as good as anybody we've played to this point for sure.